What's up with Belarus? In short order, Russian President Putin, accompanied by his Minister of Defense Shoigu and his Minister of Foreign Affairs Lavrov, flew to Minsk, where they met with Belarusian President Lukashenko and did what? What was the purpose of this meeting? A couple interesting things came out of it. One, closer cooperation between the Belarusian and Russian militaries was announced. Two, it appears that Russia is converting some Belarusian aircraft to be capable of delivering Russian nuclear weapons, sort of mirror imaging off of the so-called NATO nuclear umbrella that uses American B-61 bombs that would be delivered by non-nuclear nations like Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and others. But the real question is, are they getting ready, they being the Belarusians and the Russians, to launch an offensive against Kiev? My gut feeling says no, that this would be a departure from President Lukashenko's long-held position that the Belarusians would not get involved in the fighting in Ukraine unless Ukraine were to attack them or carry out some sort of operation in the Poles were to carry out some sort of operation in Ukraine that prompted Belarusian intervention. I think this is about solidifying a point of vulnerability, that is Belarus, prior to the major Russian offensive, which is scheduled to take, I believe, place in the south against the Ukrainian forces in the Donbass, perhaps up towards Kharkiv or down towards Odessa. But the main fighting is going to be in the south. Belarus is a critical ally. I think this shows NATO that they won't be able to separate Belarus from Russia regardless of what happens. But I don't think it's about opening up a second front against Kiev. Time will tell. Zelensky goes to Washington. After a dramatic meeting with Ukrainian troops, ostensibly in the frontline town of Bakhmut, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky got aboard a U.S. Air Force plane and flew across the Atlantic to Washington, D.C., where in short order he held a press conference with the President of the United States, Joe Biden, in the White House. One has to remember how difficult it was for Zelensky to get such a meeting during the time of Donald Trump. And then spoke between a joint session of the U.S. Congress, delivering a speech that U.S. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, said was one of the best speeches ever delivered in that forum. Is this truly about the rejuvenation of the modern day Winston Churchill? Is this King Leonidas coming to life, able to rally his troops for one last measure of effort against the brutal Russian aggressor? Or was this a political ploy, a pathetic gesture by somebody who's little more than an American toy, ordered to do something for his American masters? Why did Zelensky come to Washington, D.C.? Well, the answer is simple: domestic American politics. We have a lame duck session of Congress. The Republicans will take control of the House of Representatives in the near future. And when they do so, the unlimited spending, apparently, that the Biden administration seems bent on doing in Ukraine might come to an end as people start to ask uncomfortable questions about, why are we spending $100 billion? Where is it going? Who's using it? And is it being turned over to terrorists? We don't know because there's no accounting. But Biden wants to push through between $33 and $43 billion of additional funding for Ukraine in this lame duck session. So to do this, he has to bring out all the props. And the most useful prop, of course, is Volodymyr Zelensky, America's little puppet, who was brought over, was given 2 made-for-TV moments, and then sent away